Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin in Tucson, Arizona. Thanks for being here today. Remember to like, share, subscribe, do all those algorithm things. Let the overlords know that you're watching so that you know that they're watching. And I'm glad that you're watching. All right, so onward and upward we go with something that is a little bit on, how would I put this, a cautionary tale. Let's call this a cautionary tale. Not brought to you by Pushkin, but brought to you by stuff that you see on TV and stuff that you get in flyers in the newspaper and this type of stuff here where you've got like gold coins being produced, the 70th anniversary of the proof Franklin half dollar. I'm a little bit lost for words right now, I guess I'd say, as I think about exactly what this is, because these guys are being, slabbed by NGC, and I just find this all to be kind of off-putting. So yeah, so basically this is the stuff that's getting out there on the TV programs. Some of you are familiar with these guys and what they do. And I don't know exactly how things got modified here. So let me talk about things on a couple different layers and levels. So basically they're taking a Franklin half dollar design. They're having one of the former engravers at the US Mint actually engrave it for them. And they've got something that looks exactly like a Franklin half dollar. It's going to be a nice cameo proof 2025. They're making 499 of them, and from what I can tell, they're pricing them at probably double the price of gold. And it's very deceiving to me the way these are being advertised and marketed, because they're an ounce of gold, but they're being advertised and marketed in a way that makes me look at it and think that this is a US Mint product. Everything from the NGC holder to the way the coin looks, because the US Mint has done several lookalikes over the last few years. So famously in 2016 they made 3 different coins that were patterned directly off of the previous coins. So this does not say half dollar on it. It says 1 ounce gold on it instead. And of course it has a date that does not exist within the actual limits of this coin series, which you're able to do if you have a date that is completely wrong. Of course, there's a gentleman out of Colorado named Daniel Carr who has really, I think, interesting things that he creates that are fantasy issues. But it's known that they're fantasy issues. I mean, to me, there's a difference in the way things are presented, right? So for those of you who look at this and say, well, they're both making medallions and they're both made to look like a US coin, what's the difference? And to me, it has just a lot to do with the way that they're marketed to people. They've got a whole description of the Sheldon scale and how, proof 70s are this and that and the other. And to me, it is just kind of a, I don't know, scammerooski, I guess I'd say. I just don't like the way that it's marketed. I don't have a problem with people making things themselves and promoting them. Yeah, there's just something different about the way that this stuff is promoted that's not really my vibe, shall we say. And it's weird because I think about this because the gentleman who creates this, he is an expert on proof half dollars, and I know lots of guys that have created things similar to this. So in town, there's a well-known numismatist here in Tucson named Rick Snow, who has written his own books about the Flying Eagle penny and the Indian cent. And this gentleman has written books about the half dollars. And so, he's a specialist and has been historically within the community of collectors and dealers. And so he's a known figure to known person, and it's not like this is some type of person who's fly by night. He probably puts his name out in front of this stuff. And so it's hard for me to kind of balance out. I'm just trying to think my way through this. What's the difference, right? Rick's made books, this guy's made books. But Rick Snow's never tried to produce a 1 ounce gold coin, get it certified by NGC, and pass it off as a real coin, because that's how this feels to me when I look at this. So for some of you, I'm being way too nice here. and dancing around things a little bit. And that's fine. That's fair. You can just look at this and you can leave your comments down below. Um, I think for me, the reason why I have some pause is that I think that in life sometimes, and in numismatics and the collecting community, there's lots of lines that blur together, and there's certain things where something crosses a line and you're not always sure why or how to describe it. Famously, one of the judges of this great land had said, I really don't know what pornography is, but if I see it, I know what it is, right? So he didn't know how to describe it. So I don't know how to describe exactly where the line is on some of these things. More recently, of course, we've had the different like open box pull stuff between Witter and Vault Box, and there's other grab bag style things. And some of these things can be a cultural shift. Some of them can be considered, I think, a little bit more nefarious. Some can be done better than others. And a lot of it's based on your perspective, on just how you want to look at these things. And for whatever reason, when I see something like this, I just see something that is misleading in my mind. It's just not quite true and not quite on point. So with that being said, if you ever see flyers that are just like flyers and flyers and flyers, just trying to sell you something, you should already know that you're getting hoodwinked, right? Like you should just know ahead of time, don't do this. And I have these weird fears in life that like when I get old and I lose all my marbles, that I'm going to be ordering stuff like this. And then my kids are going to be like, Dad, we're taking your cards from you and we're getting a legal power of attorney. And I hope they do that because I don't want boxes of this stuff sitting around. And partially, and maybe that's what it is for me. I mean, I've gone through this where for decades now, I've seen stuff where people are ordering from mail order companies and spending 2 or 3 or 4 times what something is worth on the products that they're getting, and they're getting hosed. And maybe it's all about a value proposition. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just know that, hey, you're going to be getting a fraction of your money back on this. And that's not really clear in some of the way this stuff is marketed and advertised. So I've got my own scars and healing to do. You guys can let me know what you think about this. Use nice language and be precise. Unlike myself, try to use nice language. Maybe I'm not precise. Let me know in general about this type of I call it telemarketing, this type of advertising, and how you think this affects the coin market. I just personally think this type of stuff is very bad for the coin market. That's all. That's it. All right. That was me being angry. Watch out, folks. You're not going to like it when I'm angry. All right, I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.